now we got everybody, on board. Again, thank you so much for joining us today. We know you have a busy schedule, so we appreciate very much your time to listen to us. We're going to talk about V-Key, our multi-factor authentication. So I invited our senior cybersecurity consultant, Mahid Munir, to join this webinar and get an insight of the solution. So it gives you an opportunity to learn about our V-Key, our capabilities, and so on. Please, Mahid, microphone is yours.
Thanks, Miguel. Hi, guys. This is Majid Manir from Celestix. I will be talking today about V-Key, which is our smart multi-factor authentication solution. So just to give you a bit of a background about V-Key, V-Key is a pioneer in software-based digital security. And what we are saying, that you only need one MFA solution for all of your needs. So whether you are using cloud apps, you want to protect your cloud apps, whether you have VPNs, whether you have an enterprise system, or you have, normally we categorize on-premise or in the cloud, we can protect your workloads using our V-Key multi-factor authentication solution. The V-Key is the inventor of a VOS. So I will be talking and explaining a little bit more in detail what is VOS. So VOS is a virtual OS. It's a patent, one of its first kind of virtual secure element, which means we are looking at now running the app itself, which is the base of the V-Key, which is the actual authenticator app. So that app is literally running within its isolation, within the mobile phone, providing a security sandbox kind of approach, and I'll talk about what was the reason behind adopting this technology. The V-Key has been trusted by millions of users worldwide, predominantly in the banking sector. So we basically have a large customer base in the banking sector as well. We also offer some solutions for biometric ID verification for banking and government bodies, where obviously they want to use know your customer, and that's where they can use our solution. So this is something other than what we are presenting today, but I just wanted to talk about that as well. Additionally, the V-Key was recognized as one of the top vendors in the IoT security category in 2021 Gartner Hype Cycle report for IAM, Identity and Access Management. The Hype Cycle report is an annual report which allows organizations to identify and make informed choices when they're looking to adapt trusted solutions. So we were listed, the V-Key was listed amongst the top vendors in that category in 2021 in Gartner. So that's just a bit of a background about V-Key. So the MFA we are offering, we are obviously looking into replacing username and passwords altogether, which pretty much nowadays is getting a basic standard. So we don't need to use complex username and passwords. So we have adopted and we are supporting those technologies, and we can have those authentication methods where we can basically literally have let's say QR scanning. We can use passkeys as well for basically just to replace username and passwords altogether. So we can protect your logins with these advanced authentication options. The focus of the solution is mainly on reducing the cost and increasing the productivity. So really, we don't require any hardware dependencies, any hardware-based tokens. Our solution is purely digital. It's a digitally it's a digital software solution. And as I said, the main component of the solution is the VOS. So which we will talk about in coming slides. So our main focus is on the VOS. So I'll talk about, there is a dedicated slide where I'll explain in more detail what was the reasoning behind this view, developing this VOS. Our solution is SaaS based. So we have a tenant in the cloud, and we need an app. So these are the only two components which are required. So there are no on-premise configuration. There are no configurations like installations as such. So it's literally, these are the two components we need for you to protect your workloads. So once you sign up for an account by logging onto our website, and from there you can either sign up for a trial, or you can have a subscription. You can apply for a subscription as well, and then we will just perform some configuration. We will have some integrations, etc., etc. The one more thing I wanted to talk about is our licensing model. So our licensing model is very competitive, and also is very simple. We have a per user per year license fee. We don't charge anything else. We only charge against a user and on an annually basis. So again, there are no hidden costs for enabling, disabling certain features, and then that means you would have to have a certain subscription level, or you have to pay extra to activate a feature. No, all features, all integrations which we offer, they are excuse me, available to all the users. And then the only thing is, obviously, they just need to have a license to cover end user. These are just a few statistics for our from our current implementation. So we have over 290 million mobile devices who are running our VOS Authenticator app. And that number is growing. As I said, the majority of our customers are banking customers. And then, as I briefly touched on the other solutions which we offer, they are basically biometric and identity verification kind of things. So we have a we offer enterprise and military grade security app protection. So if an organization require a same level of security, for example, the one we have implemented for our Authenticator app utilizing the VOS, then we can turn their app into a multi-grade or enterprise level security we can implement. So that's the number. 200, more than 200 apps worldwide. We have worked with those app vendors, and we have given them the protection. So they are utilizing our in-house patent technology which we have developed, and which is a base of the V-Key, and the implementation is pretty simple and straightforward. So we can in hours we can set a client very quickly. Then we have the onboarding process. So once a user has signed up for the account, then they can ask their users to go to the relevant store from either they have they want to go to an Apple store or Android. They can download our Authenticator app called VOS, and then once they install the app, then they can run it, and then they should have received an email from the IT admin with the QR code, and they just scan the QR code, and then they will activate their account, and they are on the system. So they are onboarded at this stage. That means now on, they can start using our solution, and they can basically use the MFA additional capabilities to log into their required workplaces or workloads. So what is a VOS? So this slide we have kept for just explaining that what we are offering. So we are offering the same methods which our competitors are offering within the same multi-factor authentication space. So, but our focus is on the security. Now, when it comes to the mobile phone lacks a secure storage. I'll give you an example. If most organization they set up their internal PKI, or we normally refer to as two tiers CAs. So a large enterprise or maybe SMBs, they tend to go for a two-tier approach where they have an offline root CA, and sometimes depending on the type of security the organization required to meet and comply with, they sometimes require a HSM, which is a hardware security module, and that is the module which is attached with the CA, and basically to perform the computation and to store the key. And normally that device is isolated. Even as the name says, the root CA is also isolated from the internet. So this is just to give you an analogy what we're trying to achieve. Now we are using PKI to provide encryption and security of all our tokens. So that means we have to address this challenge where we want to perform crypto functions within a mobile phone, but we want to make sure that the solution which we are offering is tamper proof, is anti-reverse engineering, is anti-static analysis. Now that brings us a lot of challenges when it comes to protecting the mobile phone. Now the mobile phone is normally the operating system is considered insecure. Then we have the mobile app itself. So all mobile apps basically provide some sort of protection. So the way we gauge or we monitor the the security of an app is through a security technology called RASP. RASP is a runtime application set protection. That is a security technology, and that is the term given by Gartner, and where basically it's just to explain what RASP is. So RASP is literally just an application code, which is either built into an application or added into the application runtime environment, or within the underlying operating system. Now by instrumenting this code, application code, the RASP can monitor the behavior of an application. It can control the execution, and also it can detect and it can prevent from real-time attacks. So different app vendors implement different level of RASP. Now this is our core security implementation of the solution. So we have implemented some best of the breed and some patent techniques within our app, and that is what we refer to as our RASP based app protection. So what you're seeing on the slide, we have our views, where you see a green section, which is the actual virtual secure element. So you can compare this as a crypto VM. So this component is for basically processing the storage, and also securely storing the keys and the data, and also running different cryptographic modules. Now because we are basically running crypto functions, we have to make sure that these functions are secure, and these are like they are not can easily be penetrated, and they cannot be scrutinized by anyone within the mobile phone. Because when it comes to the mobile phone, we don't know what is installed on the mobile phone, because if we compare a mobile app with a desktop app, there are difference between these two apps and the way we control. On a desktop, we can have a perimeter based approach, where we can have different guards on the entry points, because everything has to go through the network. But here we don't have any perimeter based approach, because the mobile phone is just literally a mobile phone, which if it's a personal mobile phone, we have no control what is installed on that phone, and whether that phone may be jailbroken, maybe that's rooted. So that brings us a lot of challenges for an app developer to basically develop to basically develop an app which basically remains secure from all these threats. Like when it comes to the mobile apps, so there are different types of threats which can be launched. whether it's whether it's a static analysis, like just performing static analysis on the data when it's not running, or whether it's dynamic attacks when the app is running. Then we know the hooking. Hooking is basically modifying the application behavior by intercepting the system calls. So there are different attacks which can be triggered and can be launched against an app. So to protect all these type of dynamic and static and anti-reverse engineering and anti-hooking and debugging kind of attacks, we have to come up with something, some solid, some best of the breed techniques, and that's what we have implemented. So the way we prevent and detect hooking is by basically we have our app protection layer, which is the purple layer. That is the tamper protection, detection and response layer. So this is also running within the VOS. So the VOS is basically, we say the virtual operating system which is running inside the mobile phone is like another operating system. And that's why what it does is basically creates an isolation. And the way it creates an isolation is basically running on a randomized instruction set. Normal virtual machines could be running x86, could be running ARM based CPU instruction set, which means an attacker can understand and can basically learn that instruction set, and they can try to find some tools which are available, and they can try to reverse engineer the code and try to basically bypass or scrutinize the function inside. So we basically implemented a randomized instruction set, which means no one knows what instruction set the VOS is running on. So that is like a first layer of defense. And then within the VOS we have app protection, or we say it's a tamper protection layer, which basically when it gets installed, it basically scans different libraries. It scans for any Trojan, it scans for any malwares, and then it scans for any hooking techniques. So it basically perform all the scanning to understand what kind of environment I'm running on, and then it can basically perform different responses. So if someone is trying to attack our app, someone trying to make any calls, it can basically react and respond in different manners. And we have this customization where we can make an alert, we can trigger certain things, or even the app itself can shut itself down as well if it thinks it is being under attack. So we have these kind of built-in protection mechanisms as well. So that's just this is how we implemented the VOS. So what I have so far explained, these are just different approaches and different techniques. Now, when it comes to producing a hardware security module, which are available in the market, they have to go through some rigorous testing and certification. So we have got a similar certification. So in order for us to run crypto functions, we have gained NIST, which is an American standard, FIPS 142 level 2, FIPS 142 level 1 certification. Now, this is the same certification which is required by a hardware security module vendor as well. So they have implemented, and what this allows us to do is basically this certification confirms that the crypto functions which are implemented, they are implemented securely and correctly. And we have had different global market player and some stress run against our VOS as well, and which means this has been undergoing a lot of stress testing, and it remains to be broken. So that means our solution is still intact, and it's still providing excuse me, that level of protection, even it's running within a user space within a phone. And then we have the app protection, and also we have different other certifications. So we got common criteria, EAL, and a level 3 certification, which certification guarantees that the security functions which we have implemented within this VOS, they are implemented correctly and securely. So this is another certification. Then we have also got SOC 2 certification as well, and we also got Infocom Media Development Authority of Singapore certification as well. We are also FIDO Alliance member, and we are also launching a FIDO as a soft token as well. So just to give you what we have discussed. So this VOS can be installed, and it's down to the customer whether they want to allow our app to run on a rooted phone or a jailbroken phone, because we can protect ourselves. We can protect ourselves from all these known attacks. So just to give you another example of one of the patent technique we are using under our RASP, we are using a secure keyboard, for example. Now, normally, a first line of attack for an attacker is sometimes they install a keylogger, and they attack the system keyboard. So system keyboard is their prime target. So when they attack the system keyboard, they can obviously gain access what keys are being pressed and what keys are being tapped. So when our app launches, it's basically we are offering a drop-in replacement for a system keyboard, and we basically utilize our own secure keyboard. Now that keyboard, whenever it loads, it randomizes the keys. So the keyboard is running within the VOS. So that means it is running within that isolation. It's running within the virtual OS, which is a patent. And then it basically, when it loads, then it basically randomizes all the positioning, which means making it really difficult for an attacker to basically see what keys are being pressed. So these are just few techniques which we are using, and also our solution can protect against whether you have different Trojan, whether you have different malware on the phone. We can protect our app even with the presence of malware or Trojans. Whether you have a screen mirror configuration, whether you have a parallel space, whether you have we can detect if the device it's a different device than the one which was used during the onboarding process as well, or if you are running in a parallel space. We offer device binding as well. Device binding means if it's single use only, then we can lock the device, the app microcode with the user phone's UUID, which is a unique ID for each phone, which means it will be anti-cloning. So you won't be able to copy it on another device. So these are just few techniques which we have implemented. So this means we can protect any corporate app, and we can provide the same level of app protection which we have implemented, and that's the enterprise level security. And we can have it installed on any environment because we have built-in protection, and we have our app protection which can protect our virtual secure element. So that's just a bit of information about V-Key. And now I'll just right. So we have so what we have got as a patent, we got it under different regions of the world. So we have this VOS patent in US, EU, Singapore, China, and Australia. And what we have got patent for, it's basically intertwining of the VOS which is a virtual secure element, and the app protection. So these are the two elements which we have got patent for. And on the slides, you can see some global penetration tests which has been against which our app has been tested, and some e-commerce plays as well. Then when it comes to authentication method, we support these authentication method. We support FIDO as a soft token. So as I said, we don't require a hardware token. So our solution is purely digital, software-based digital solution, which means we don't utilize any hardware keys. So our solution can just work on a mobile phone. We just need a mobile phone, and that's it. We support a passwordless approach. Second passwordless approach after FIDO is the QR code scanning, which is quite common for all web-based logins like Office 365 and any other enterprise login. We can basically display a QR code, and then through that QR code, which means user doesn't have to type any username and password. There may be a time when they might have to make a selection that what user they wanna log in with, but then it's just literally a passwordless anti-phishing technique. Some legacy applications require a push notification like VPN, so we do support VPN push notification as well. All the notification we send, they are pure, they are end-to-end encrypted, and we support PKI tokens. So our tokens are PKI based. So the smart token which we use, they're basically private key, public key, infrastructure based. So they're really, really secure. We can also leverage local authentication techniques like Touch ID or fingerprint or Face ID to protect the app. And then our app can be used as an OTP, and just you can basically scan any OTP from any social media app or any other accounts you have where you have enabled two-factor authentication, which requires a time-based code, and we can basically we can allow this to be used as just normal authenticator as well. So we support OTP as well. Then we have V-Key Face IDs. Now this is one of our own patent technique which we have developed. Now, just to compare V-Key Face ID with the Face ID, the Face ID on a device is a feature which is local to the device. So if a phone is stolen or phone is user has replaced the phone, they have to re-register their Face ID or fingerprint, and there's no way to restore it because it's only stored locally. And then, so with the V-Key, what we are doing here, so we are basically using leveraging a technique which is a zero biometric. Now, zero biometrics is a privacy preserving biometric data protection technique. So this is a technique which basically, as the name implies, it's a zero biometric. So what we are saying, so a component of the zero biometrics is called zero face. Now, the zero face basically ensures users' privacy by never storing or searching for facial data. Instead, excuse me, it computes a unique 256 zero hash for each user's face, which is stored within the zero map. So what we're saying that each user face will have a unique 256 zero hash, and that zero hash is stored within a zero map within the VOS. Now that zero map will further be encrypted, and this is also we have achieved through the common criteria certification we have achieved, and this is we were able to securely encrypt and exchange that information with our backend server over a secure channel by basically encrypting the zero map. So that's the concept of what we are using. With V-Key Face ID, we allow registering for a V-Key ID. V-Key ID is similar to Apple ID or any other IDs you have through which basically you can store your data and your account. So once a user registers their V-Key ID, then they can restore it on, let's say today they are using it on an Android phone. They want to change to a iOS Apple phone. Then they can store the same tokens, the same data on that device because we support app to app migration. So from within the app, you're not dependent on the phone. Your V-Key ID can restore your data on as long as you have the app. It doesn't matter what operating system, underlying operating system it is. So these are just the authentication methods which we offer. So just to recap what we have covered and where we think we are different from other vendors. So we are offering FIDO as a primary authentication as a soft token. We have achieved common criteria EL3 and FIPS 142 certification. And we also offer secure facial, which is the V-Key own in-house developed technique for which I've just explained, V-Key Face ID. We have a secure keyboard as well, And then we also support remote locking. Remote locking means if a device is compromised or reported stolen, then the administrator can go to the portal and they can just disable the app functionality altogether. And then we have the device binding, which is a copy protected solution we have implemented. We also offer tamper proofing, so we provide end-to-end encryption and also end-to-end yes, we offer end-to-end encryption, whereby whether the data is at rest, like it's sitting in the VOS, then it will be sitting as encrypted. Whether the data is in use, then it will be decrypted, and once it's running in the memory, and once it's executed, the data is finished its execution, then it will be wiped, removed, leaving nothing behind. And whether the data is in transit, so it's being basically transported from app to the backend, then it will be sent as encrypted. We offer multi-service provider offering as well, and we also support multi-device. We have the built-in app, which I've explained, and also the solution brings the comes with a threat intelligence as well, which is also one of our patent RAS++ techniques. We have some integrations. Again, the slide only mentions few names, so it's just few names we have mentioned, but we can work with any vendors because they all support, as long as they support common standards like Radius, OIDC, SAML, we can integrate. Or even we have our own API, web-based API, secure API as well. So whether it's in the cloud, excuse me, whether it's on premise or VPN, any legacy app, we can work and we can integrate easily. We have further a online cloud-based integration for some names are here just for identity access management and privilege access management. Again, the list is not complete. It's just few names we have listed here. That brings us to the end of the demo. So Miguel, if you can stop sharing and I can start my start from my end, please. Yeah, 1 second.
Yeah, you should be able to do now.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so now I'm just gonna walk you through through the interface. So I am just logging into our portal. So as you can see the dashboard, so I'm just signing out, so just to show you that we can protect the sign in as well. So if I'm logging in, and then I can just protect. So as you can see, it is protected with the 2FA. We have enabled the 2FA, so I'm just scanning this QR code, which excuse me, which should now authenticate and log me into my account. And now we have our dashboard where we can see some statistics, some recent data, and we can obviously it can be customized as per your needs. Anything you wanna have, so you can see any VPN use case. It really depends on what sort of integrations, what sort of authentications are being performed, and then you should see at a glance here. Now, when it comes to onboarding and setting up a new customer, so I'm just going to run through that, what are the steps required, and you can understand how quickly we can integrate our solution to provide you additional factor authentication. First of all, we just need to connect with your directory. So we support different types of directories. So we support Azure, whether it's in the cloud, we support on-premise, we support OpenAD. And if it's a small organization who don't have or don't want to invest into a Active Directory infrastructure, we can offer them our own V-Key AD, which is a cloud-based AD, or we can use REST API, or we can have other options as well. And that's through this we will create a connection, a secure LDAP secure connection towards that Active Directory, and then that's how we will basically get information about the users who would need to register and stop using the solution. After that, we will just need to apply or map against a token pack. A token pack is a subscription package which you will get. So here, this subscription is for 10 users only. So we will map that subscription depending on the number of users required against your primary directory, which we have already configured under the directories, and and then we will generate some tokens from here. So activation code will be generated, and that's where it will pull all the information like what users need that activation code, and then that list will be populated, and then that list will be sent using the email address against those usernames, and then those users will receive the email and with the QR code, and then they will start scanning the QR code, and then they will start appearing here as they are activating their account by scanning the QR code. Their status will be shown as green, which means they have activated their account. So here, the list of users who have onboarded will be shown here. We can see their authentication history, some of the authentication history. We can even have some authentication logs. So we can see there, we can reset their token, we can reset their V-Key Face ID, or we can disable or deactivate the user as well by just toggling this switch. So after onboarding, the next step would be to basically perform an integration. So we have different connectors. We can have a radius connector, so we just need to connect, we just need to fill in the details and create a radius connector if application require a radius type connection. Excuse me. Then we can have a we can support SAML. So if it's a SAML type integration required for enterprise app, then we offer two configurations. So one is for Office 365, which is predefined, and then we just need to perform some other configuration which we have set up different. We have developed some different guides which are very easy to just follow, and anything other than Office 365 would fall under generic SAML 2.0, and we will just fill in the details, and we will perform attribute mappings, and then we will go on the other end of the application, and we will just configure whether it's IDP or ASP initiated SSO. We will just configure it. Once we've done that, then in the same way, we can have a OIDC based configuration connection. So this is again our OIDC connector we can have, and we also support excuse me, an API, secure API, as I said, so we can have an API as well. So that's pretty much what it would take, what steps are required to basically get you started and get you started onto our portal. Now we just need to have some testing. So I'm just gonna go to different websites. So we have I have bookmarked our SAML URL for Office 365. So if I click on it, then it will take me to the IDP because in this scenario, we are using IDP based SSO. So we are just I'm just logging into my app now, and I'm just scanning this QR code to log into Office 365. So this is another example of a QR code scanning where we are not using any username and password. It's a password-less approach. So I've just approved this through my app, and now it should just log me into my Office 365 seamlessly. So you can see it just worked straight away. So through by way of SAML integration, we just logged into the Office 365. Then we have another integration with the Okta. So we have bookmarked our Okta tenant here. So I'm just clicking on it. So as soon as I click on my Okta tenant URL, it basically redirecting me to V-Key again, because we are acting as a IDP. And then I'm switching my user in this case because I can have multiple users for multiple apps. Excuse me. And I'm just approving this request on my phone, and then it should also seamlessly log me into my Okta workspace, as you can see. Okay, so I have just logged into Okta now. Then we have a use case for SSO. So let's say if I have downloaded two apps. So these are just Spring Boot login simple project. So these are just two apps we have downloaded from Auth0. So these are just for testing the login. So I'm just I'm running the same instances, but I'm running on different ports. As you can see, one is on TCP 3000 and one is on TCP 3001. So if I log on to this app, then it will simply say, I just need to, obviously, because we have these type of integrations, so I can choose any. So I'm just choosing SAML again. So I'm choosing SAML, and then I'm just logging in here. And this is just an example of an SSO, where once you logged into one app, and then you can basically log into another app using the same token. So I've just logged in here. As you can see, nothing changes. You just simply say I'm logged in now. So if I try to log in this app, it will again prompt me for the login. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go to our auth portal, and then, sorry, just taking a bit of time to verify. And once I am in, I'm just going to enable this feature here. So I'm saying currently the SSO was not enabled, so I've just enabled it. And now I clicked save, and now I'm going back to the same app. And if I click login now, you can see it should not prompt me. So you see, once I enable the SSO, now it straight away logged me in using the token, which is already, this browser has that token already. So you can see that this is a using the same credentials by the browser logging into another app. So this is just another example of a SSO based login. Now we have some videos. I just want to show some videos because we have a use case for Windows login. So we support passkey. So I'm just going to play that video because we are just waiting for this final version, which has been released to us, but we're just doing some lab testing. So this is another passwordless approach where a user, we have an agent installed on a Windows device, and we have the at the sign-in page. So I'm just playing this now, so where you can see that we are choosing to use the V-Key app, which is an agent which is installed. And once the user has made that selection, it just literally, you can see a push notification was sent on the Samsung device, which is being mirrored on the left hand side, and the user is just pulling that notification to review, so to see if they want to approve it or if they want to just reject it. So here on the authentication, they've just approved the request, and then straight away they just logged in. So you can see this is another passwordless approach where basically we just making a selection on the login screen, and the second use case is the user has locked the screen, and now this time it will be a reject. So they're just rejecting this authentication this time, and then a prompt will be displayed and saying that the login has been denied. One final use case for VPN we have here. So we are just playing another little video where obviously we have try to demonstrate how it will be authenticated using the app. So this is a virtual machine, and we are dialing a VPN using the network login option from the login screen, which means at the same time the device can use the authentication credentials which the user will supply during the login screen, and then they can log on to the device, which is the domain-based device, at the same time as well. So I'm just playing the video now, so you can see we just clicked on network login, and then we just supplying the username and password. Once we click connect, then at the back end it will communicate with the V-Key, and then a push notification would be sent to my device, which I have received now, and I'm just literally approving the request. So I have just approved the request, and then obviously once I've approved the request, the Radius communication is taking place between our VPN server and the Radius cloud, and they have basically verified each other, and then they accepted the connection. And now I am I have successfully connected the VPN, and I'm successfully logged onto the device using the same credentials. So same credentials used for establishing the VPN and also to log onto the device. So as you can see, the 2FA remains connected. So that brings us to the end of our talk today. I hope you have enjoyed this talk. Feel free to ask any questions, and I'm just gonna pass you over to Miguel now.
Yes, thank you, Majid. Thank you so much for the demo and the presentation. I hope everyone had the chance to see the power of V-Key and the functionality. Obviously, because of the time limit, we were not able to continue to dig more into the app. So I extremely recommend you to set up a meeting with us so we can talk more in detail about V-Key and other options that we have available for you around validation and identification. Here's my contact information. This is my email address. So please do not hesitate to send me an email with any questions, or if you want to request a 30-day demo site, we can also set up a trial buy account for you so you can freely use V-Key for 30 days. So with that said, thank you so much. Have a great rest of the day. You will receive a link to this email to the recording, so you can view anytime you can. Thank you so much again for your participation.